The Phoenix Suns are the team that nobody wants to see in the playoffs. What's up, guys? It's Hoops Talk back with another video. And this video I'm going to be talking about the Phoenix Suns, which are going to be one of my favorite teams in the NBA after seeing them play. I've always been a big fan of some of their players, but when Chris Paul came in, I was really intrigued to see how everything would work out. I kind of knew that they were going to be a playoff team, but I didn't know they were going to be as good as they are right now, and I'm really sold on how they play. I'm here to tell you guys that the Phoenix Suns are the team that no one wants to play in the Western Conference playoffs. Now, at first glance, you might think, hey, that's a stretch, man. There's no way they have any shot of beating the Lakers or the Clippers or the Nuggets or whoever. I'm here to tell you that they do. And I'm here to tell you that I would not be surprised if the Phoenix Suns made it to the NBA Finals. Would I pick the Phoenix Suns over the LA Lakers and the Clippers? Probably not. They would have to show me a little bit more to convince me that they were the favorites, but I would not be surprised if they upset one of those two teams. And here is why I'm so sold on the Phoenix Suns. Now, currently they're sitting at the number 2 seed with a record of, if I'm not mistaken, their record is something along the lines of 35-14. It's 36-15 if I'm not mistaken, not 35-14. And they have exceeded a lot of expectations. Now, during my preseason, predictions that I did, I thought the Phoenix Suns were going to be a fringe playoff team, somewhere along those lines. I thought they were going to make the playoffs for sure with the addition of Chris Paul, but I did not know they were going to be the 2nd seed in the West and the 2nd seed in the NBA. Basically, if you're talking about overall records, they are behind the Utah Jazz as the 2nd best team in the NBA. So yeah, the Phoenix Suns have exceeded a lot of expectations, and we see teams like this a lot where, the Milwaukee Bucks team from a couple years ago, where they suddenly shot up to the number 1 seed. A lot of these teams that have done this fail, right? But the Phoenix Suns, I do think, are legit. Teams like the Miami Heat from last year, who were the 4 seed before the bubble, the 3 seed before the bubble, exceeded expectations and delivered in the playoffs. The Utah Jazz from a couple years ago upset a Russell Westbrook, Paul George, and Carmelo Anthony led Thunder with little to no playoff experience on their team. So I don't think the experience will be a big factor for them. I do think that the head of the snake, not the best player, but the on-court leader of their team, has the required experience to lead a team through a playoff series. And that's exactly what Jimmy Butler did to the Heat last year. And I do think that Chris Paul is on that level of leadership. I don't think there's that many leaders better than Chris Paul in the NBA, and I do think he's showing that right now. When you're head of the snake, your on-court leader has the experience necessary to win playoff series, then I'm betting on the Phoenix Suns to do it, because obviously they have players that are not experienced with the playoff scenarios, but their leader does. And their off-court leader, who I believe is Jay Crowder, is an Eastern Conference champion from last year. So he definitely has the necessary experience to help lead a team past, the first, second, or Eastern or Western Conference finals into the finals. Monty Williams was one of my Coach of the Year picks, along with Steve Nash, because I really thought that the NBA loves to give Coach of the Year to people who make the big jump. And Monty Williams, I do think, should be, a top 5 candidate, maybe top 3, whoever you ask, for Coach of the Year, because he's doing an amazing job with the Suns. So I always knew this team was going to be something, something was going to be brewing in Phoenix. But I just love the construction of this team. I really, really do. When you look past the leader, Chris Paul, obviously we know what Chris Paul is about. He's the guy who can elevate his players in crunch time, take over down the stretch if he needs to, be that leader, be that floor general, on the court, off the court. Chris Paul is that guy, right? Then you have Devin Booker. Man, y'all, the NBA, they've given Devin Booker, he's gotten a taste of success with that 8-0 bubble run. He wants more. Devin Booker is coming. He's one of the best scorers in the NBA. and he has superstar potential, if you ask me. Then you have those wings. I love those wings. Jay Crowder, Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson. They guard anyone, and they can definitely shoot the three. Those guys, if you run into LeBron, if you run into Kawhi, one play they're gonna see Mikal Bridges, one play they're gonna see Jay Crowder, one play they're gonna see Cam Johnson. They have wings. Torrey Craig, another wing off the bench. So they have a lot of wings on their team that are 3-and-D wings, and I love that. Every team needs those wings who can do a little bit of everything: guard, hit the three, occasionally make a play. The Suns have an abundance of those wings. Off the bench, they do have a guy like Dario Saric, who is a very, very good backup center, especially this season. Frank Kaminsky has been playing really well. Cameron Payne is a guy that can just fill it up off the bench. Shooters like Langston Galloway and Etuan Moore. Javon Carter for defense. Abdel Nader for extra shooting. Rookies like Tyshawn Alexander and Jalen Smith. This team is very, very deep, ladies and gentlemen. And depth does matter. The only question mark I have of this team is their starting center, and that's DeAndre Ayton. I was very high on DeAndre Ayton coming into these to this year, and I'm very disappointed by what he's done this season so far. I thought he played a brilliant game against the Jazz on the offensive glass. I thought he really, really did well against a defensive player of the year and the runner and the leader in defensive player of the year voting right now, Rudy Gobert. I thought DeAndre Ayton did extremely well. But this season in general, he's been really, really disappointing in my eyes. I really expected him to be an 18-point scorer, 18 and 10, something like that. He's only averaging about 14 points per game. The reason I really thought DeAndre Ayton was going to be really good this season was because Chris Paul makes his centers amazing. DeAndre Jordan, he turned DeAndre Jordan into an all-star one year. And DeAndre Ayton, I need him to be more aggressive. I think he's the X factor of this team. I can't have the guy doing turnaround fadeaways and post fadeaways when he has smaller matchups on him. I don't want him to be soft. I want him to go dunk on people, use his size to his advantage, because he has all the potential in the world. He is the X factor of this team, and he's going to have to bring it, especially if they match up against the Lakers, because as we all know, Anthony Davis, healthy or not, is a problem. So DeAndre Ayton is going to have to make sure that he's on his A game. But I think everyone else from the Phoenix Suns is going to show up. And don't be surprised if this team wins a championship. I'm not talking about this year, but in the coming 5 years, if the Phoenix Suns, because they do have something brewing in Phoenix, they can become a dynasty. Chris Paul, he's slowly fading away. I don't want to be disrespectful to Chris Paul, but there is going to be a time where he's not going to be able to play the game of basketball anymore. And I do believe that, the rookies that they drafted who aren't even getting much PT, Jalen Smith and Tyshawn Alexander. Jalen Smith was a lottery pick, and he's only getting 4 minutes per game, which is very surprising. Tyshawn Alexander is another guy that they selected in this draft, and I think he plays for the G League, if I'm not mistaken. I remember him coming out of Creighton. I thought it was a very good pickup for them, but he only plays 3 minutes per game too. So once Chris Paul leaves, they're going to have those draft picks. They have some draft picks, if I'm not mistaken. They will have some cap space. And man, Phoenix basketball is back. I'm not a Suns fan, but I'm very excited because Devin Booker is probably my second favorite player in the league. Not on my favorite team, behind KD. So Devin Booker, Chris Paul, the Phoenix Suns are coming, and they are dangerous. I take them more dangerous than a lot of these teams in the West, and no one wants to see them come playoff time. Trust me. But anyway, guys, that's it for the video. I'm gonna wrap it up here. Hope you guys enjoyed this, man. Any Suns fans, in the comments section below, leave me a like, leave me a subscribe, and yeah, I'll see y'all later. As always, comment down below what y'all thought about the video. I'll see y'all later. Peace.